Hey, there you are. Haven't seen you in a while. How have you been? Whoa! What's this? Are you alright? Hey, stop that. Don't get upset. No, it's alright. I'm right here. Calm down. No, it's alright. I'm listening. Are you alright? You're not. You're not alright. I know. I know. I wish things were different. It's never easy, is it? Don't cry. Don't get upset. You are strong. You are strong. You're very strong. You didn't ask to be brought into all this. None of us asked to be brought into this bullcrap. Getting tossed from one monster to the next. One idiot relative smearing our life all over the canvas of the world, one after another. But you've painted your own picture. You've painted your own masterpiece. It's a huge tapestry. Your life is very diverse. You're a hard worker. You really are. I'm really proud of you. You know how I am about work ethic. I've met people tougher than me and work a lot harder than I do for a lot less money. I never look down on somebody for a hard day's work. There's no job too good for somebody. But you've got like 2 jobs. That's something to be proud of. That you can handle that, plus take care of your family. Still be there for friends. Come on. You're all right. You're awesome. It takes guts to do what you do. Get out there every day. Put yourself out there. It's not easy, and we both know it. What are you doing there? What's wrong? How'd you hurt your elbow? Let me see it. Come on. Don't be tough. Come on, let me look. Oh, jeez. All right. Yeah, I got it right here. No, I'm not a medical doctor. I just play one on TV. Of course I have a medical kit. What kind of a friend would I be? You know, come here. Get in here closer. Let me look. Yep, you're right. There is a tiny little piece of glass in there. Come here. Put that elbow right up here. Come on. We're friends. You don't trust me? It's just a little tiny. Look. It's not going to hurt you. See that? It's not going to hurt. Ow. Ow. Look at that. It doesn't hurt. Ow, 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 ow. Come on. We've been friends for a while now. It's not like that. You've been good to me since the day I met you. Now put your elbow up here. And you trust me a little bit. Okay? Let's get that out of there. Okay. Oh, I know. Hold still. Ow. There it is. It's tiny. You can't even see it. Look at that. Let me get that in the trash. There. It's tiny. I had to wipe it on a napkin to make sure I got rid of it. First things first. There we go. We've got to get that cleaned up. I know I don't have the same life as you. And I know I'm a lot older than you. And this is the sad part. We both lived through a lot of the same things. I know I say a lot of biblical things, but if I put it in terms to help you understand it, it's not very Christian. It's more my own wisdom, and I'm applying it with that, because I have to explain it some way. But I know in my heart that the sins of our grandparents and our parents, and even our great-grandparents, they're revisited upon every generation. And I know the Bible talks about it, and I know other holy books talk about that. But there's a reason for it. Because people keep making the same mistakes. They teach their children through example. And unless the child is willing to break with that cycle of violence and anger and hostility and addiction and abuse and hate and racism and evil, just plain flat out evil, unless you as a child are willing to break that cycle, it's going to repeat. It's going to repeat in your life, and it's going to repeat in your children's life and your children's lives. 4 generations. 4 generations, one end of the spectrum to the other, affected by what happens right now. And you can make that difference. And I'm your friend. And I'm going to tell you, you don't think I see that you're making a difference. You don't think I see all the hard work you're putting into everything you do. And you know it doesn't come easy. We both know nothing we have came easy. We worked for it, didn't we? That's right. We worked for it. We worked our asses off. Wipe off your face. And that's enough of that. You're with your friend now. I don't want to see you like this. I don't. But seeing it makes me understand. Makes me understand how strong you are. Where that talent comes from. Where that determination, that grit, those guts come from. I know you hear it all the time. Rocky Balboa. Little wisdoms to keep you going. But you're not a wimp. The wimps are the ones that never tried. Never got up and went to work. Never went to work sick. Never jumped in that car not knowing if it was going to start. Didn't even know if the car was going to make the ride to work. Didn't know what kind of grade they were going to get on that test. Didn't have money for their lunch. Money for gas to get home. Running on fumes. You and I, we know about that. I know that. We know what it's like to get up. And you're sick. And you're going to work. You're pulling up your pants, your big boy pants, and you're going to work. And I know you know that. I know you know all about it. But there's one thing about Rocky I remember. He looked in the mirror with another fighter, and he said, sometimes the toughest opponent you ever have to fight is that person right there in the mirror. All that doubt, all that ego, all that pain. See, because we see it. We see that pain, don't we? We see that pain, that wrinkle, that stress. It doesn't go away, does it? Just because we turn off the lights at night or we turn them on in the morning. It doesn't go away. You and I both know it. It's right here. This is going to sting a little bit. Okay. That's strong. Can I get your elbow up here and I'll wipe it off? I know. Hold still. I told you it was going to sting. It's alright. Let's hold some cotton on it. It'll be alright. It's not even bleeding anymore. Hold still. I'm going to tell you a funny story. And you know I wasn't close to my dad. Let's get some of this antibiotic on there while I tell you. Oh, it's a funny story. It's not a bad one. But I'm going to tell you my story. And then someday I want you to tell me yours. Okay? Now here I am, putting this ointment all over your cut elbow and fretting over you because you're my friend. There you go. Let me get that on the elbow right there. There you go. Right on the elbow. Right there. That'll feel better, won't it? That's right. And when I was a kid, I loved playing with, I don't want to touch my nose. Use my tie, not my sterile gloves. It's a first I didn't touch my nose with my sterile gloves. That's how much I care about you as a friend. When I was a kid, I really loved playing with Hot Wheel and Matchbox cars. And I can't even. I gotta tell you this story. But here. Okay, here's some aspirin. Little pack of aspirin. And it's really gonna help. Aspirin helps more than you think to relieve pain. And the water does too, because sometimes when you have a headache or something, you're really thirsty and you just start dehydrated a little bit. And that big glass of water with the aspirin helps. Now I want you to do me a favor. I want you to chew these. I know it's really hard. When you chew the aspirin, it's going to get into your mouth a lot quicker than in your stomach. Okay, so we can get it working a little quicker. Okay, so here's your aspirin. And put your hand out. Just put those right in there. There you go. Okay. There's some water right here. Here's your cup of water for you. There you go. Okay. So, I'm telling you a story. It's a short one. Okay, when I was a kid, I really loved playing with Matchbox cars and Hot Wheel cars. I just loved them. And I'm just going to spray a little bit of this. Antiseptic spray on the elbow area. Okay. There you go. That'll feel better. And I just love cars. And a little more. Okay. I'm just going to wipe that around. And get that area all clean. So, I've had these Matchbox cars, Hot Wheel cars, and they were really dinged up. And I found this can of red paint, spray paint, in the garage, my dad's garage of the house. And he was kind of distant. When he had a day off, he would just sit in his chair. And he didn't really talk or spend any time with me. Or if we badgered him into playing ball or something, he'd bring a baseball out and throw it at us really hard. And I'm not making that up. And it was really weird. And he didn't believe in baseball gloves. He thought you should catch a hard ball with your bare hands. It was amazing. Growing up in my house was unbelievable. The amount of physical pain I was able to endure from learning how to catch a hard ball and a softball with bare hands as a 8, 9, 10-year-old was quite formulative at that age. So I'm out there in the garage. I found this red paint, and I went out in the yard. I wiped my nose, and I put the cars in my hand, and I was spraying them, and I got my hand covered in red paint. And I don't know what possessed me, but I didn't know how to get the paint off my hands. Oil-based paints. So like any kid would do, I was trying to, keep the paint from dripping off my hand. So I had the other hand like this. And I'm like opening, and I got paint all over both hands. I barely can get the door open. I go in the house, my dad's watching TV, and it's like a Saturday afternoon. He's watching golf or something. And for some reason, my dad liked golf on the weekends. He never golfed. He didn't. I think he caddied when he was a kid, but he didn't know how to play golf. And he liked golf. He watched golf all the time. So we're sitting there, he's sitting there, and I walk in, and I'm like this with my hand covered in red paint. All right, you already know where this is going. I walk right up to my dad. I don't say a word because a commercial come on TV for like Star Wars or something. This is back in 1976 when the first Star Wars come out. Well, my eyes are riveted on the TV. I'm watching the Star Trek or Star Wars movie commercial like this, and I look amazed. Star Trek or Star Wars, wow. Right at that moment, my dad turns and looks at me because he don't give a crap about Star Wars, and he sees me going like this, He came out of that chair Oh my God, he was, I mean, boom, he was a bigger guy. Boom, he come out of that chair, scared me so bad. I'm like, it's just paint, it's just paint. I don't know how to get it off. Oh my God, was he mad? And I thought, I am a dead man. He is going to beat my ass. And to this day, I can't believe he didn't. That day, he actually got a grip. And what the hell just scared me like that for? And he didn't, smack me or spank me or anything. It was hilarious. He just was so, I think, scared he couldn't, actually punish me for being a dumbass young kid. And I just loved it. It was so funny. It was just so comical. I mean, to this day, I can't believe I did that to my dad. It was so embarrassing. It was embarrassing because your own kids do it to you down the road. And you got to think. And this is a good story. It's a fun story. Because we're not going to talk about bad stories today. We're going to talk about good stories. And the reason I told you a good story was there's good memories in there. There's fun times. Even though things were rough. Things weren't always good between us. And he wasn't a very kind man in a lot of ways. Till he got older, he got sickly. And he lived through that tormenting time in his life when he was a jerk. And he kind of became a likable old man. And I remember all those bad things. Well, one day I chose to put them in their place and think about some of the good times. Because to be quite honest, I didn't at one time in my life have stories I could tell my own kids. This is something I wish I would have talked to you about earlier. I wanted to tell my kids funny stories. They wanted to hear about the good old days. My boys love stories about the good old days. What did Grandma Nettie do? What did Uncle Brian do? What did Uncle Jim and Brad do? They wanted to hear these stories. What was Grandma like when she was younger? Things like that. And I suddenly realized I didn't have those stories. They were there, I just didn't have them. I had to go back and I had to think about it. And it actually hurt. It actually hurt to tell my children funny stories like that at one time. At one time. About the good old days. Yeah, you know all about the good old days, don't you? Yeah. I can talk about the good old days all day long. And I know you can too. And I know it sucked. Let's be honest, it sucked. The good old days sucked. Don't you love these people that say, we need to go back to the good old days? Go back to the past when we had morals and we had, politically this country was great. We need to go back to what our founding fathers did. Our founding fathers were kind of jerks. And they whooped their kids' asses. And they were distant to their children. But they built this country strong. And our country's built on blood and guts. And that's cool. And it was. But somewhere in all that, wipe my nose again. It's itching tonight. Somewhere in all that, there was a lot of people, a lot of fathers, and a lot of mothers that did all those things because they wanted it to be better for their children and their children's children and their children's children's children. They didn't want this to keep going on. They wanted a better life. And they broke that cycle. Remember what we were talking about a little bit ago? That cycle. I think you're the person that broke it in your family. And you're thinking about it. You're thinking, did I really? Do I need to do a little more of that? retrospective thinking and breaking this cycle of evil and hate in my life. And you're listening to me and you probably know I'm right. And my life was a lot like that. And I chose one day to break that cycle. I did. I did. And I got news for you. That cycle's not perfect. Sheltering your kids from the outside world and thinking you can protect them from everything has its own set of problems. But I tried. And we keep trying and we keep building on mistakes and building on successes and working through those things. You know? And we don't give up. And that's what I do love about my family. We don't give up. We don't quit. Don't quit. We get up, we keep going. 8 inches of snow, you get up and you go to work. You go to school. If school didn't get canceled, you go to school. You go to work. We do it. You just get up and you do it. You work a double shift on that last night. You get up and you sit down and you do your job. You keep going. You don't quit. And things get better. They do, don't they? You know that. You know that. Somehow in all this garbage and filth that we wade through, things get better. Yeah. So, real quick about the good old days. So I sat down and I wanted to tell my children about the good old days. And I didn't make up stories. I didn't make up fake stories. One day I realized that there were some out there, and there was probably quite a few. Life isn't always bad. And you have to find them. Maybe I didn't tell them the details. I didn't tell them what else was going on back then and all the ramifications of those actions, but I tried to tell them the good parts and make it funny. That it was funny. My dad actually played ball with us, even though he hit us with a ball, even though he threw it so hard that we couldn't catch it. It hit us. He was unbelievable. He was unbelievable. And that's what you got to remember. There were some things in there. And that's what you start to hold on to. You don't lie because you know. You don't sugarcoat it. Some people might say you do, but I do. That's what I meant to say. But, it's there. You can choose to look at the world and not apply these things in your life in a wise way. Or you can take these things and you can make a difference in your own life and in the life of others that depend on you. And you can get through it. It sucks sometimes. And it really hurts. But you can do it. You can get up and you can do it. And I know you can. I know because there was a time not long ago that I needed a friend. I was in trouble. And you stepped in and you helped me. It wasn't much. But you let me know that there was another place. There was another place, another way for me to go. That I wasn't alone. You know that. And you helped me. And things turned out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with everything. I'm real happy with everything I have. Since that day. No complaints. And whether you need my help or not, what you do need to know is I'm here. And there's some place you can go. Bend an ear. Clean a little tiny wound on your elbow. Get a Band-Aid. That's right. There's a place you can go. You didn't leave me out in the cold, trying to figure it all out. And I didn't know what to do. Now, I'm not a mom, so I'm terrible at this. Only moms are good at this. I don't care who you are. I'm terrible at this. But I'm going to try really hard. Okay, now come here. Get that up here. There you go. Okay. Oh, yeah. Well, see, that wasn't that bad. It's spread around, but the actual little cut's tiny. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, you're all right. You're going to be fine. A day or two, you won't even know you have that. But this Band-Aid's going to fall off in the middle of the night. You'll be just fine. You're going to be great. You're going to be great. Because you are. You are a good person. I don't believe that. Believing is faith. I know you're a good person. Because I've seen a lot of terrible things. I've seen a lot of things I don't even want to think about. Somewhere in all that, there is good in people. There's those little tiny moments, and even if they don't express it properly to us, we can choose to look for it ourselves. And if we do, we can find it. It's there. It's not perfect. It's not the way things could have been. But it's better than the other. It's better than the alternative. And that is just eating us up. Eating you up inside. And I already told you, you're better than that. You're a good person. And that's not going to work. Maybe you just need me to tell you that. Or maybe you're here to remind me that I need to say it more often. I will admit, I don't say it enough. I keep this down here in my office because if I don't, I'm not going to have a Band-Aid when I need one. We both know that's how it works when you have a family. Isn't that true? So, I gotta get going. I'm glad we had this chance to talk. And I meant what I said. I think sometimes you think you're going to somebody, but it could be the other way around. And I'm glad to have a friend like you because I forget sometimes. And it's not bad to remind each other that, hey, we can do this. We are doing this. We can get through this. Sometimes the toughest opponent we face is ourselves in that mirror. And you can decide to go back to bed or give up or flip on the TV and just let the world go by. Or you can pull up your big boy pants and go to work. I don't think I do it any better than anybody else. I just think I'm willing to do it. I'm just willing to, gosh dang, do it. I don't feel like swearing. I think there's a time and place for it, but not today. Okay. All right. You'll get back on there and you'll go. I know you will. I know you can do this. I'm glad I could be there for you today. And I want to thank you for being there for me today and in the past. That is actually what friends are for. They're the only ones that'll listen to us. Yeah. But that's okay. I want you to have a good weekend. And don't worry, everything's fine on my end. And we'll talk soon, okay? Okay. Until I see you again, please have a most blessed day. This is your friend, Dr. Andrew Michaels, saying bye-bye. Bye-bye.